Oh, hi. It's me, Sam Reece, and this is TalkGirl, the podcast where we do a deep dive on what it was like growing up as a tween in the early 2000s. You know, when millions of 12-year-old girls were choreographing dances to Bootylicious. I was one of them, and so were you. Let's be honest. You know them. You love them. Today's episode, we are talking about sleepovers. Yeah, so get in here, put down your sleeping bag, get out your matching pajama set that you begged your mom for, and let's talk, girl. Let's get these guests in here. Oh my God.
How did we get... Are we in the sky?
We're here on the podcast.
The Skies from Pottery Barn Teen. Say your names because I don't know that people can tell three brunettes apart.
They can't. My name is Becky Chicoine.
And my name is Rachel Wenitsky.
And I'm Sam. You guys, sleepover.
Oh my God.
I'm so excited you're here. I kind of want to do like a fit check. Tell me who you're wearing.
Okay, so funny. Okay, so these are my current pajamas currently.
For you as an
adult person. They're from Victoria's Secret.
I believe these are Parade. I have to say, I don't think they're doing amazing work for my skin tone, but mostly they're for bed. I have a lot of matching pajama sets. It's something I'm really passionate about.
And same,
I
actually realized that I would say after I bought this too, that I have a short sleeve shorts, also pink and white striped.
You're obsessed with pink and white stripe.
It's a classic.
Yeah.
Do you sleep in pants?
In the winters?
I sleep in pants because if my thighs touch while I'm sleeping, it wakes me up and I hate it.
Because of hotness?
Anyway, I'm wearing
Yes.
Adidas track pants, wide leg, and a Target butterfly fake silk top.
It's the dream.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I think for me, Adidas track pants were like the piece of clothing to wear. They were the coolest thing to wear to a sleepover.
I didn't have like matching pajamas in high school. I just wore like,
Me neither.
In my bed, I wore a big Tony the Tiger shirt. No unders. And then
No unders.
no unders.
I have to do unders.
Yeah, I have to do unders as well.
I still don't do unders
That
today.
is fascinating.
That's
I don't do unders.
so interesting.
We've been best friends for 10 years and
didn't
I
know.
did not know that about you.
Even when we've slept in the same bed together.
no unders.
I hate the feeling of no
Oh my
unders.
God. Put a pin in that. When you were like 11, 12, 13,
Yeah.
give me like, I'm pissed that I didn't know you guys then. I feel
I
like
know.
we really
Sucks
would have
ass.
crushed it.
It does suck ass.
Sucks
Yeah.
ass. We were all in different freaking states. Okay, give me some like fun facts about you. What were you like? What were you listening to? What was your style? Your hair, what was it doing?
It was doing whatever it damn well pleased.
Oh.
I didn't know anything about doing my hair. I'm both envious and I pity kids today with all of their YouTube videos and TikToks about how to like wear makeup and style your clothes and style your hair,
It's
because
everywhere.
I just had no awareness of that whatsoever, and so it never even crossed my mind. Like I didn't own makeup until I went to college.
Wow.
And then was
Yeah.
like, oh. And then at some point in college, someone was like, you should part your hair on the side. And I was like, it never occurred to me that you could part your hair a different way.
Did you have bangs?
I had bangs when I was like little, but then I didn't have them again until college.
Full forehead.
I went full
Middle part.
forehead until like 2009.
23.
Loving that.
2023 was
Yeah.
the year I finally got rid of my forehead.
Aw.
Did you
Fine.
guys were you guys into like makeup and hair and stuff when you were in
In
middle school?
I wanted to be.
Well, my mom wouldn't let me wear makeup till I was 13. Was that a rule?
Yeah, that's classic.
And then the makeup that I chose to wear was like the frosted white stick on your eyes. I think that was all I wore, and then some sort of glitter that was like a gel.
Absolutely.
yes, the roll and glitter gel. Yeah.
Oh my God. And then my hair, okay, so 6th, 7th, 8th grade, I wanted to fit into limited 2, but I couldn't. It was like limited
Classic.
2 started in like 1999 and I was too chubby for it. I had to go to like limited misses. And I tried so hard.
Limited 3.
Regular
J.
limited
Jill.
3. Yeah, already. I went from JC Benny to J. Jill. And my hair, it started in 6th grade. I grew it out. But I had this like cut that was short under my chin, and then it was just sort of like bangs all the way down. And it was because some
bangs all the way.
it was
Bangs all the way down.
Some gorgeous little figure skater had some cut that was something like that, except it was really long. Truly, I brought in this picture of this gorgeous little girl,
and you're still doing that.
I'm still doing bangs all the way down.
Well, no, you're still bringing in pictures of models and saying
making me look
it'll
like
look the same.
Bella
Was that
Hadid.
just like kind of like a precursor? Like I'm picturing like Farrah Fawcett. Like I'm picturing the really long curtain bangs.
And it was also an Asian girl, and so her hair was stick straight.
Right. A totally different texture.
100%.
Yeah, you were like,
absolutely.
give me this.
Make me her. And it just like the way it fell, and then whatever. My mom always put my hair in rollers too when I was young, like in 5th grade and stuff. So like I was always like doing my hair.
Glamour.
Yeah, we were all about like LA Looks, that hair gel. That
Oh my God,
I
LA
can
Looks.
smell it.
Yeah, absolutely. And like there's definitely a bottle of it still in my mom's cabinet. That's probably like 30 years old, and
Oh
it's
my
still
God.
like I don't know what it's made of, but like that
It's not expired for sure.
No, it never will expire.
Did those come in different colors?
Yeah. I think I used blue.
Yeah, that makes
I
sense.
think
But it was the same thing, right?
It was maybe like the strength of the hold.
Okay, that makes sense. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Also, to be clear, like I like had so many insecurities about
Well, yeah.
like my body and my skin and the way I looked, but it didn't occur to me that like a different hairstyle or like makeup would not fix. You can't
Right,
fix
you can't fix
You
it.
can't fix it. But like
No.
to me the problem, the external problems were caused by something deep within me.
And you knew that. then.
And I knew that.
As a child, you knew that. So you're like, I'm not even going to bother. With
I have
the
to
hair
be
makeup.
beautiful from within, or else it's just not going to work.
So you were just really working on yourself.
I was working on myself.
Yeah,
I just was never like, I want to learn how to style my hair so I can like glow up. I was just like, well, I'm fucked.
I was obsessed with doing my hair.
Same, constantly trying different things.
Oh my God. But I didn't know how to use any of the tools. So it was like
Right,
I had the Hot Tools straightener, right?
Yes.
That was like 700 degrees in the hands of a 10-year-old.
I had that as well.
Burning it. Just like, no, it'll be fine. I had bangs on and off, but in 8th grade, I definitely like didn't have them. But I think from the breakage of dyeing my hair, there were like some little sparse bangs.
Yes.
I love that.
And actually now I'm remembering like a 7th grade school picture. I went off and on with bangs where they were, I guess, wispy too, short, and I would do this tight curl and I would fucking spray it to death. And my mom used to call it a jelly roll, and she hated it. She was like, I wonder if you tried something different. I'm like, this is what looks really good on me, I think. So
She was trying to help you.
She tried to help me. Yeah.
That reminds me that there was a period in high school where I did have bangs, but I wanted like straight across bangs, and I have very curly hair naturally, and so the hair person was like, you don't want to do that, which now we know curly bangs, nothing better.
So chic.
So I got these like really wispy bangs, but because of a cowlick situation, they always would, it was like, it ended up being like 2 wisps that would both curl in different directions, kind of like a handlebar mustache.
No.
And I remember like I used to spend a lot of time like playing with them, trying to like, I don't know, like use the oils from my hands to like lay them down on my head. And then they would just
curl
be
them.
yes. And then they would just be like flat against my head and like wispy and oily.
Yum. Yeah.
So that was like, that's when I started getting really into like my hair. Did you ever style your hair curly as a kid?
That's a good question.
No. Okay, so when I was in middle school, I went to summer camp. Classic Jewish summer camp. And
classic.
I feel like the closest I got to wearing my hair curly would be like on a swim day.
Yeah, when you
where
were like,
I had no control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I'm going right from swim to arts and crafts to kayaking.
Yeah.
So, like,
So
what am I gonna do?
I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a brush and gel, and I'm gonna scrape my hair
Oh my God.
into what they call now a slick back.
Slick back.
Yeah.
Well, it's so funny too because both your mom and your dad have very curly hair, and they styled it curly, right?
I don't think they put. Maybe my mom was putting. You know what? John Frieda brunette.
Oh my God.
that
curls.
was the fancy. That was the John
fancy.
Frieda was the fancy stuff.
Yeah. And here's what the fantasy was. I was like, okay, I am going to use the John Frieda, and my hair's going to dry naturally, shiny, silky, smooth, wavy.
Yeah. The dream.
And
Blake Lively.
Yes.
Blake Lively in
Traveling
the sister
pants.
of the traveling pants.
I'm still trying to do that.
She
I'm not
invented
really
the beach
understanding.
wave. I feel like, at least where I grew up, it was a culture of we flat iron our hair.
Yeah.
And there was no cultural like mom teaching her daughter how to like properly styled curly hair. Like my mom, I never saw my mom's hair curly.
No, okay, this is what it was. It was burning your hair straight every day,
Yeah.
and then your mom going, "Why don't you wear your hair curly? I love it when it's curly."
Well-
oh, she's showing leg.
Oh, so it's straight right now. So you guys, it's straight right now. I straightened it.
It's straight right
Me
now.
too.
Sorry.
Me too.
Yeah,
Of course.
Yeah, sorry.
No, I am wearing
No.
Actually, I'm wearing pigtails to sort of avenge the passport photo I took in middle school.
Oh my god.
The day that
Beautiful.
I braided my hair into pigtails, and I said, I've never done this before, but I think passport is the day I'm gonna do
I
it.
want this photo for the next
26 years.
Because you know what, you probably saw somebody else had that in a photo, and you're like, that is so gorgeous, and that's what I'm gonna do.
Blake Lively.
I took one of the worst passport photos ever when I was in like middle school or high school, to the point where my mom, who took me, said, "Do you want to have that retaken?" And I was so like, I wanted to prove a point that like I didn't care. So I was like, no, it's just a passport photo.
I'm casual.
No one's going to see it.
What other
Classics.
style icons were we liking, loving?
Well, obviously, like Christina Aguilera was my number one. Well, you know, I'm a little bit older than you, only guys like by 30 hours.
30 hours older than us.
Yeah, 30 hours older.
Yeah, God, it's like we just have completely different references.
It's so crazy
So,
though.
it's so weird.
No, I mean, I was there from the get go, from Genie in a Bottle. That was like, because that was like 2000, and I was a freshman in high school in 2000.
Yeah.
And it was like, I was obsessed. And you know this, Sam, because I just told you, but I used to cut out little pictures. Any picture I saw of Christina Aguilera in a magazine, I would cut it out and I'd collage it onto my closet. So that like by the end of college, I mean, I collected it for years, right? By the end of college, the whole closet was covered in this collage of like taped Christina Aguilera photos. And one day I came home, my mom had taken it down, and she never told me that she was going to do that. And I was
Devastating.
distraught. I would have wanted, I didn't even get a photo of it.
Wow.
And she was like, I didn't like it. It was ugly.
Oh my God.
Horrible stuff.
What does your mom have against Christina Aguilera?
Everything. No. I asked her one time, I was like, did you think I was gay? She goes, well, yeah.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
well,
that
yeah, I
does
don't know.
seem pretty gay.
Yeah. It was Christina Aguilera, Ricky Martin, Clay Aiken.
That is
Very
extreme.
gay.
Style icons. What do you mean?
You know who was the greatest style icon? Was the older sister in the movie Wish Upon a Star.
Unreal.
Who I only realized many years later was Katherine Heigl. The little sister character was always wearing like the biggest striped t-shirt and like cargo shorts. And that was actually how I dressed. And I just remember thinking like, someday when I'm grown, I'm going to dress like this woman.
Yeah, you think it's automatically just going to happen for you. You're
Yeah.
like, I'll just get it. I'll
I
just
was
be
like,
that.
I just understand.
I was like, yeah, like someday I'll just like be wearing heels to high school.
Can I tell you
Yes.
that someday I feel like has come for me now?
You're wearing heels to high
that's
school.
you.
I'm wearing heels in high school. I'm wearing like the boots I wanted to wear in high school. I'm like, when I do my hair naturally curly, I feel like I look like Britney Spears in Crazy.
I just had a memory.
Yeah.
Lindsay Lohan,
Yes.
Parent Trap.
Classic.
One of them had, I
Yep.
think the American one had a strand of her straight red hair
Yep.
just snipped on an angle.
Yes.
And I brought that picture to a hair salon and I
Was
said,
it pigtails? I feel like.
I
And
don't-
then one.
and one, like her bangs, it was just like a chunk.
You
So
wanted
when
the
her hair
you
was
wanted the
straight,
chunk.
Yeah.
it was just like a chunk. And I was like, give me the chunk, please. And she
That's-
said, okay, what about a side swoopy bang that you'll have for the next 15 years?
100%.
Don't panic. You look great.
And then you know what I said? Thank you. I love it.
I love it.
They
Did you
didn't-
like it? You remember liking
I was
it?
devastated.
Oh no.
All I wanted was one long piece. I could have done it myself in my bedroom. And I
definitely
said, Mom,
could've.
take me to the salon. And she gave me like the full bang that you guys met me with. I never
that
got
we
rid
all
of it.
had.
Wow.
Anyway, okay,
God.
let's talk a little bit about sleepovers.
Uh-oh.
Sleepovers, the reason we are here.
I want to know the era of sleepover.
Okay.
Though, because when did sleepover start for you? Like third, fourth grade,
It's a yeah, I think so.
right?
Yeah.
And then they went. So I think there were eras. There's like a little grade school into like sixth grade, then middle school, and then like 16,
Yeah.
17, 18.
I had like one friend when I was really, really little who like our families were really close.
Yeah.
And so we were doing the like 5-year-old, 6-year-old, like we
Okay.
were just constantly swapping houses.
Yeah. I
That's
remember that.
fun.
I
And
had a
you had a
neighbor-
sister too.
Oh,
so-
yeah.
It's true.
Wow.
The house was full. And we would just like, it would be like one night we were at her house and the next night we were at my house. And I always had a really small social battery.
Yeah.
So like I remember, and it wasn't just her, it was everyone would be like, can we have a sleepover? And I'd be like, sure. And then I'd turn to my mom and be like, say I'm not allowed.
Say I'm not allowed. I would do that too because I was scared.
Yeah. Well, I just would like, I was like, I need a night to be like alone.
I want to read.
Wow, you were as a child, you're like, I need to be beautiful from within. I know my boundaries and my social battery limit. She just knew.
I knew. No, I didn't need to be beautiful from within and like the light is shining inside of you kind of way. I just needed I needed to be hotter naturally.
100%.
I understand.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I got you.
You know?
But also, what are we packing? I guess regardless, I'm going to say like middle school, early high school.
Yeah.
I feel like each house that we went to had a specific thing we went to for. Like
different amenities.
Yes, different things that we did. Like when we went
Gym.
to really. No, it's like we went to like Michelle Tyson's house and she was like, we were putting condoms on bananas. Okay. When we went to Maggie.
There was always one like
Yes.
sex house.
Sex house. She was a sex house. We were playing Truth or Dare. And then if we go to Maggie's house, we're doing charades, fishbowl. Like we were
Wow.
real.
Game house.
Yeah, game house. But then we went to my house and I was the board game house. I had Mall Madness, Dream Phone, Pretty Pretty Princess. We played ironically at that age.
Of course.
Sure, yeah.
So I mean,
Dream
was I bringing stuff? I
Two
don't
game
know.
house and a sex house. Nothing like it. What are you packing? I want to do like a what's in your bag.
Okay.
So this is what you're bringing to a sleepover.
I just want to show that.
The
That's
tiny
a
backpack.
really good little backpack.
It's a little tiny backpack.
on
Backstreet
it?
Boys. It's
Backstreet
Backstreet Boys.
Backstreet Boys.
Now, actually,
They're so small.
my friend Maggie and I had a backpack that we got from the NSYNC concert, and that was lost. But she gave me this for my wedding last year as a present.
Aw.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
See, proof that you can just buy whatever you want when you're an adult.
Darren's Dance Grooves DVD.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't remember who had it. I don't know if it was me or
Return it.
Yeah. It was either me or Sarah Sims or one of the girls had it, right? And you had to bring it. Actually, it might not have been a DVD. It might have been a VHS, guys.
Wow.
We learned Bye 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 from it.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's when I was
It's a good sleepover dance.
Chris Kirkpatrick and Maggie was Lance Bass. And then the popular Sarah Sims and Kaja were,
Justin and JC.
of course, yeah.
Who
And
were
Callie
you
was
in
Tony.
NSYNC or Spice Girls when you did cosplay?
I don't think I ever
You're like, I'm Joni Mitchell.
I did that. Yeah, I'm like I was Joni. I was David Crosby.
Thank you so much, Dream Phone.
Yeah.
Phone.
Oh my
Huge.
God, I remember that.
And then, did you guys ever play Mall Madness? This was the biggest one.
No.
And I it's bigger because this one I wouldn't bring to places. This stayed at my home.
You came to the Chicoine residence to play Mall
Mall
Madness.
Madness.
Mall Madness lives here.
And
Was that a big? Was it like a
huge.
huge
And you-
board game?
Yes, and you
board?
had to and you had to like set it up. It had like the plastic mall that you would
Right.
set up.
like Life.
Like Life, exactly.
I loved
And I
Life.
was very competitive and I was always red. I wouldn't let anybody else be red because red went first.
Wow.
And to the point where if I wasn't close to losing, I've in multiple times flipped the board game.
So you were competitive, you'd say?
That's what I said. What'd you bring?
Okay, this is another thing that I have literally no memory of. I think I just would bring a change of clothes and a toothbrush.
That makes sense.
My
Bare
pajamas. Bare bones. I don't remember if I put it in a bag.
Yep.
Or just
Just
held them in your
loose.
hands?
Brought him loose.
I
Yeah.
might have brought him loose. I have no memory of it. I think I probably brought him loose.
Aw.
There's a good chance I would like go home the next day in my pajamas. You know what I mean?
I think
Like,
so. I think we all did.
I was really
Yeah,
lazy about it.
absolutely.
That sounds right.
I would always want to like go to breakfast in my pajamas. It felt like we had a sleepover. Look
Yeah.
at us. So I did bring a packed sleepover bag based on a sleepover that I did pack for that. If you want to see that.
Okay, let's
I
see
wanna
it.
see
I
it.
brought a physical bag. Hold my mic.
Holding. So, Rachel, how was your morning?
Really good. How was yours?
Pretty good.
Oh,
sorry.
Sorry.
Oh my God. This is amazing.
Thank you.
I'm holding your mic.
Okay, so I'm unzipping the bag. So what I learned about myself
Oh my God.
thinking about sleepovers, just peeking inside,
I'm
is that
already excited.
I wasn't packing logically. I was packing for the vibe. I was packing for how I wanted to feel for the experience.
Wow.
I would often actually forget to pack anything useful. So this is based on a sleepover I went to at my aunt's house where I had a friend named Chalet.
Okay. Wait. Oh, there's so many questions already.
Ask them.
You were at your aunt's house?
So my aunt lived on the Jersey Shore.
Okay.
And I had a friend there who
Lived on the
was my
Jersey Shore.
age, who lived next door.
Oh my
Camp
God.
friend?
That I met. No, I met her at the shore. She was, you know, when your aunt's like, I know a girl your age, and then you're like,
Yeah.
you guys hang out
She
together.
lives in the complex.
Oh my God.
Exactly. So we would have sleepovers, and I would only see her in the summer. And her name was Chalet, and nobody ever believed me that I knew a person named Chalet because they're like, that's a type of building.
I have heard the lore of Chalet, but that is
Yeah.
so funny that you were at your aunt's house.
Chalet, if you're watching this, reach
forward.
out.
Yeah, come forward. Yeah.
Let's talk.
You've got to get Chalet on the pod.
Okay, so famously,
Oh my God.
I would always sort of pack a thong because I felt like
Stop.
I'm mature.
Was it a string thong
Right.
though?
Yeah, G-string from
G-string.
like Aeropostale with like
Of
a little
course.
monkey on it or
That
something.
you wouldn't really wear.
No, it was just like, oh, oops, my thong
yeah.
fell out.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry, that's
sorry. I'm just like
I
wearing
might
these
need
now.
that.
I
Yeah.
might
Yeah.
need that later.
If we're going out to
Might need-
IHOP later, I might need it.
that.
Okay, and then I famously brought a bikini
Okay, yeah,
my
you never
God.
know. Damn.
and a landline
You
phone.
did not. Oh, that's right. Oh my God.
So imagine sort of me showing up with a bag, with a bikini, a landline phone, and a toothbrush.
Okay, yeah.
I'm inviting you to all the sleepovers. That's what I'm thinking.
The vibe is coming together.
The vibe is
I'm starting to
really-
see it.
Yeah, so what do you think we're doing at this sleepover?
Well, you're making calls from the hot tub.
Okay, the bikini without anywhere to swim is really sending me.
Remember, we're at the
Pictures?
Jersey Shore.
Oh, that's right.
So you could have been going in the
You
ocean.
could have been.
We were going in the bay on a boat.
Okay.
Oh
Okay.
God. I was gonna
And
say or
Eve-
truth or dare.
And right.
Yeah.
And even then I would say maybe the boat was once. Did you guys do like photo shoots at sleepovers?
Yes.
I think that maybe is part
That's
of
what
it.
I'm thinking.
Oh,
We also like
yeah.
filmed videos.
That's what we did.
Yeah.
yeah.
We were constantly filming like music videos or like our own weird shorts.
Yes.
Little skits.
Little skits.
Spoofs.
Well, I did
Skits and
actually
spoofs.
didn't
Both.
talk about it, but another thing I had in my bag was a wig and like a dance costume. Because I would always bring this is when I was older, I'd bring like my old dance costumes and we'd dress in my dance costumes and put on wigs.
The smell coming out of this is plastic.
And this is something that I've actually bought recently, obviously for you and me to do
Right.
something with.
I mean, those are the shorts of an adult woman.
Not of a baby, not of a 16-year-old baby.
No.
But yeah, we were always filming whatever,
Yeah.
filming funny stuff.
Oh,
my God.
fell.
So tell us what you did with the phone, Sam.
Chalet was kind of a bad girl.
I
you
already
guys.
knew it.
Of
I
course.
was like pretty reserved, a little shy. Like it took me 6 months to 2 years to get comfortable with anybody and show my goofy side.
100%.
And then I was like a real goof. And with Chalet, she was like cool.
Yep.
She was hot. You know, she was tan. She was like such an it girl to me. And I was like, I have to impress her. She's a bad girl. We're going to do prank calls.
100%.
So
Wow.
I knew that there wasn't a phone in the bedroom that I was staying in. So I brought my own. I was planning to fully plug it into.
Was there a phone jack in the
wall.
bedroom?
Yes.
That's huge, actually.
So did you do it?
Yeah.
And
Oh my
what are the
God.
examples of the prank calls we'd be hearing?
If I could remember,
Oh my
that
God.
would be great. Unfortunately, I think it was just calling her friends from school and probably being like, "Hi, this is John from the hardware store."
then, like,
Yeah,
laughing
yeah,
and
yeah,
laughing.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then being like, "Ah, they think the hardware store's calling."
Do you have a girlfriend?
Wait, and what age was this?
12.
Yes.
Wow.
This is actually really crazy
This
because
makes me nervous.
I had a similar friend, and her name was Kiera.
Chalet and Kira would ruin us.
100%.
You gotta get them. You gotta get them on this
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah.
Bad girl. She came to middle school. So I went to Catholic school for 12 years, and our middle school was 30 kids in the class. High school was like 50 kids in the class. So she came midway through middle school, and she was a bad girl. And I went over one night, and I remember she was hot. Just hot, too hot. And also there was rumors that her mom had permanent eyeliner. We were all like, oh my God, she did a tattoo eyeliner. Like, cool. Anyway, we'll come back. Yeah. The bikini, what was that for?
The prank calls.
Either
Yeah.
I thought we were going to the beach.
Oh, that's right.
You just never knew.
I just never knew. I was like, I'm going to the shore. I'm bringing a bikini.
Yeah, it was a just in case.
Yeah, I'm throwing in the landline phone, and that's all I have room for.
Oh my God. The prank calls made me so nervous.
I can't talk on the phone even now.
No, I can't do it when it's not a prank.
Exactly.
Did you guys get picked up from sleepovers a lot? Like
Yes.
early? I was an early.
Same.
I was
Yeah,
like,
let's get into this actually.
I was definitely like an 11. Well, it felt like 11 p.m. It probably was like 8:30.
Definitely, probably.
And I'd be
as
like,
soon as it
well,
got dark.
I'm ready to go home.
Yeah. And what was your excuse? What would you say?
Yeah.
Well, when I was really young, I think I would just be like, I want to go home.
Okay, chic.
I guess in high school, I didn't really do that because I really just had like maybe 2 friends who I would have sleepovers with. And it was more like talking about, I don't know, Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
I think when I was younger, like I'd reach a point in the night where I'd like suddenly get really homesick and start crying and I'd be like, I have to go home.
Same. And like literally same. And yeah, I also grew out of it in high school, but I would say to the mom, I'd go to the mom. She'd be sleeping because she went to bed. She went to bed early. Yeah, for sure.
She had her wine and went to bed.
I would wait until everybody was asleep and I'd be there in silence and I'd be like, just count to 10 and I bet you'll be okay. And then I just couldn't do it.
And then would you start crying?
Yes, but I wouldn't tell. I was so embarrassed to tell my friends. So then I would wait. So that's why I waited till they were asleep, and then I would go wake up the mom and be like, "I'm sick."
Oh,
I would always say I'm
Lightly
sick.
knocking. Was the mom always like,
Yeah.
or was she awake watching like Seinfeld?
I feel like she was always asleep. Yeah. I'm thinking of Mrs.
Always.
Schmidt specifically, or Mrs. Becker, and then they would
Mrs.
call.
Becker, you sleepy bitch.
Yeah, and my dad would pick me up, and I think they always knew too.
Eventually, they were like, "I'm gonna wait up for Becky to be like, hi, I'm sick."
Yeah, truly. And the worst time was when I went to my neighbor's cabin, Sean. He was a boy who I did have a crush on. And we must have been, 10? I don't know, 5th grade. And their cabin was 4 hours away.
Oh.
And oops, he fell asleep and I was sick. And I told Mrs. Quinn and they called my dad. And my dad drove 4 hours in the night to come get me. And then 4 hours home.
Sweet Becky.
And that's actually really sweet.
And in my mind, I think it was at like midnight, but it was probably 7 p.m.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it always felt like really late. And
100%.
sometimes I would like try to fall asleep and then get like the cries.
You
where
get the cries.
where I would just like suddenly get homesick and I'd be like and I remember feeling like I'm sad and the morning will never come.
Yeah,
And like
felt
would
very
have
long.
to go home.
Would your friends ever say anything to you? I can't remember.
Like no.
Yeah, no,
I think
I think no.
I think no one gave a shit.
Here's what I'll say. As the girl who was desperate to have sleepovers all the time and always had friends who were like, I have to go home.
Yeah, sorry.
I never said anything. But I
How
was
devastating.
always like devastated.
Would it be if the 3 of us had a sleepover and then we were both like, we're sick, and you'd be like, what?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Gotta
one
go.
fucking
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
Actually, I think I'm feeling a little feverish. I'm
Just
feeling
go,
a
you
little-
guys.
Just there was like a long period where I like had 0 friends, and so I think like a lot of these slumber parties were like
In middle school?
3rd grade, middle school. I had no friends. I maybe had 1 sleepover.
They were missing out.
I do think I had a turning point. I'm remembering with the Kiera slumber party. This is probably the first and the last time I ever slept at Kiera's house. I remember it was 8th grade, and again, she's hot. I have my Asian American haircut.
So beautiful.
Real chubby, couldn't fit into Limited 2.
She's wearing a pantsuit.
Like truly, like
From the Limited.
I can't describe to her. I feel like when Kiera walked in, we all were like slow motion looked at her. Like
what was she
most-
wearing?
Oh my god, low rise corduroy, big brown belt with rivets, like a tiny little. She might have gotten in trouble because her polo was like she showed a tiny bit of midriff.
Mud sandals.
Yeah, probably.
Remember
Yeah.
those?
Friend tried to ask John Fitzpatrick to go out with me, and he said Becky doesn't even shave her legs.
Oh.
And Kiera was like, "Well, we're gonna fix that." So
Kiera's
Okay,
a
a
good
girl's
friend.
girl.
in a way, let's wait for the story. And Kiera,
Oh.
I'm sorry if you listen to this, but you did do this. Unless it's revisionist history in my mind. But we were at Kiera's house listening to the Toni Braxton single, reading the lyrics along with it.
Okay, yeah.
Which is very funny because Toni Braxton sort of singing about like her husband cheating on her as like an 8th grader, just really.
You're like, we really
I
relate
get
to
it.
this.
Yeah, I get it. And then she goes, let's play Truth or Dare. And I said, yes, of course, Queen. Anything for you. And she says, I dare you to take off all your clothes and go streaking outside. And I said, no, of course. But then like she talked me into it somehow. I never have done anything like this. And I went outside fully nude in her cul-de-sac.
Always
She
a
locked me out.
cul-de-sac.
I can't remember if her mom let me in. I think something like that happened. And I don't remember sleeping over there. So the rest of it, I remember this so clearly. Oh, you know what? I think we shaved my legs first.
Oh,
And
thank
then
God.
Shaved my legs first. And then she was like, you have to go streaking. And
You'll be
do
locked
it.
out with smooth legs.
Horrible.
How long were you locked out for?
I can't remember. It wasn't too long. And now I also remember that I did have a towel out there. because I had the towel on and then I dropped it. And I think I like quickly ran to the cul-de-sac and came back. And then she locked me out.
Just the two of you?
Just the two of us.
That's
Tricky.
a little crazy because
That's wild.
Tricky.
if there's no audience, it's just for her own sick pleasure.
Thank you so much.
She's just a sicko.
Yeah. Looking back, that's probably like my queerness. I mean, like, yeah, I'll get naked.
your gay panic,
My gay
right,
panic,
sure.
yeah. Sure, just me and you, whatever. Yeah, shave my
Whatever,
legs.
okay.
Yeah, I'll go naked too. Yeah.
That's really
Whatever you want,
stressful.
my goddess, my queen.
I did have one friend who I'm still friends with, my friend Allie, who she had this house where like she had a bedroom, but she like chose to sleep in the basement. And
Oh
it
my
was
God.
like this huge room where like the washer dryer was. And then her bedroom was sort of like next to it and it had an ensuite bathroom. And so I was like, my friend lives in an apartment.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
I was like, she's the most adult person I've ever met. And like going there was like, it was like I'm going to visit my friend at her new flat.
That's
Was the vibe.
That's what my friend Andrea's place felt like. And this is another pivotal. I'll take over the conversation
Let's
one
go.
more time.
Please do.
This was literally Y2K. New Year's
2000.
Eve. New Year's Eve, 1999 to 2000.
we don't know what's going to happen.
Oh,
You're like,
my
the
God.
world is about to end.
8th grade, we went to Andrea Dunstern's house, and she had the biggest house anybody ever knew. Okay, and she's gonna listen to this, my girl Andrea. She had an ensuite. She had two beds in her bedroom. Okay, and she had an ensuite with a bathroom, shower, walk-in closet. We couldn't believe this. And Allison and Andrea and I came over because the parents were having a Y2K New Year's Eve party.
Upstairs.
We were upstairs. They were
I
downstairs.
see.
Okay.
Yeah, it's always either or.
They were getting trashed. Okay. And then we were like, we're going to have our own Y2K party. And what we were going to do is drink a wine cooler. And so
one together.
And how old are you at this time?
12?
12,
Okay,
12.
yeah. That's the perfect age to start drinking
Drinking
wine
wine
coolers.
coolers.
Perfect age for wine coolers.
That's when they say you should start.
The parents were trashed. Okay. I think Andrea went down, or maybe we made Allison. We always made Allison do everything. And she got
Allison.
Yeah, Allison would do it. And she got the wine cooler and she brought it upstairs. Actually, maybe she didn't because she refused to drink it. She was so nervous. She was like, I think she might have been crying. She was like, we can't do this. We really can't do this.
We're going to become drunk.
The stakes are so high.
Stakes were the highest like ever. One, first of all, it's Y2K. I think maybe we were like, if we don't do it now, we might never get a chance.
That's
We're all
so
going to
right.
die.
The world could end and we will have never had a wine
It's like
cooler.
we need to try the wine cooler. And so Andrea and I are like, fine. So we're in her bathroom, close the door. Okay. We open the wine cooler, each take a sip. The most disgusting thing
Yeah.
we've ever tasted, spit it out, dump the rest of it out. Allison's like, thank God. We put it in her bathroom trash, but we like set an
Cover it.
alarm for the next day to go like 5 a.m. to like quickly take it out and like put it with the other trash so the parents wouldn't find out. And that was my Y2K. When did you guys have wine
Wow.
coolers?
That is so fun. I can confidently say I've never had a wine cooler.
I love that.
I've probably had like a bottled wine cooler.
My first drinking experience at a sleepover was Marissa's house is always the cool house.
Okay,
because
yes.
I think her mom was, I don't know where her mom was. I think that was why.
We don't know where.
Yeah, she was off doing other things, and they had a full bar, pool,
Yes,
everything.
yes.
Oh,
You
wow.
know,
Yep.
huge, massive, like L-shaped couch that we would all pass out on.
Yep.
I didn't know anything about alcohol, and I saw. I think it was like the Cavassier bottle was like it looked like or Crown Royale. I think
Yes,
that's what it
of
was.
course. Oh my
That had
God.
like the
The little
little
crown.
crown on it. And I was like, well, that's like Juicy Couture.
Stop.
You're like, that's
so good.
That's for girls.
That's
Yeah.
the Juicy Couture liquor that I will be having because
my
I'm
God.
13 and I get it.
Wow.
of
When
course.
really it's like just for grandfathers.
And you take a tiny sip and drink it over several
Yeah.
hours. And I was like, I'll take it straight from the bottle.
My first drinking experience was at a sleepover,
Classic.
and it was I believe a bottle of absinthe that
stop.
somebody had brought back from like a trip to Prague.
Somebody's dad? Somebody's
No, I think
brother?
it was like a senior who had gone on the choir trip.
Oh my
Yes.
God. So far, wine cooler is sounding the best, and
Yeah.
I spit it out.
Because
So yeah.
I feel like it was like not the like absinthe that they sell here because they were like, it's got the worm in it or whatever.
Oh my God.
And it was ultimately the cast party sleepover for the Mystery of Edwin Drood.
Stop.
And I was a freshman.
Who were you in the Mystery of Edwin Drood?
Okay, so I was Bazard, which
Okay.
was like gender swap casting,
Amazing.
which was really progressive. Edwin, the Mystery of Edwin
we all have one
Drood.
of those. where
Definitely.
We played an
Also,
old
was that a
man.
comedic part?
Yes,
Yeah.
the whole show
It's
is comedic.
comedic,
It's
yeah.
like for those who are not who don't know,
Unbelievable.
I pity you.
Yeah.
The Mystery of Edwin Drood is actually it's a sleeper hit. Do you guys know it?
A little bit.
I'm pretty sure we did it.
Okay, yeah. So it's written by the guy that wrote the Pina Colada song, which is one of the best songs ever written.
Yeah,
if you
great
really
story.
it's a fantastic story.
Yeah.
And the musical is insane, and it's based on a Charles Dickens book that he never finished.
That's
so
right.
it has like a guess your own ending.
Oh yeah.
So the audience like votes, and so on like some nights certain characters like sing songs, and on other nights they don't. So
Wow.
I had a small part, but I was a principal as a freshman, which was a big fucking deal.
That is actually
It is
so
a big
huge.
fucking deal.
And then on one night I got voted by the audience as like it's like a murder mystery. So they voted that I was this like mystery detective. So I had an extra song.
Oh my God.
If you can believe
what a
it.
thrill.
So then the cast party obviously was crazy. And
100%
like
lit.
I was like, you know, being a freshman that had a principal role.
You were the hottest it gets.
I was like becoming friends with all these like 17-year-olds, and I was like, okay, I'm an adult now.
I have older friends. It's just kind of who I am. Yeah.
And then I think I like probably had like a little bit to drink and then like immediately threw up because which I know now is like I just like am not somebody who blacks out. I'm somebody who like
throws up.
Me too.
So
and then
funny.
the next morning was like laying on the couch. It was a sleepover, so I came home the next morning and I like had a headache, and then my mom came into the room and I was like, I'm drunk.
What?
And immediately confessed.
That's so funny. What did you drink? Do you remember?
Well,
Malibu and Diet Coke.
It was probably absinthe. It was probably
Absinthe,
like
that's right,
a little absinthe and then probably a little bit like Malibu Diet Coke. Like
Literally
I think I
horrible.
was just like, I didn't know there were rules.
I'll
Yes,
take an
of
absinthe
course.
and Sprite. Thank you.
You know what? I do feel like after we had the wine cooler, we all vowed to never drink. We were like, this is horrible. We're never
Yeah.
going to drink. And then I didn't really drink until my high school graduation, but
Wow.
which was Malibu Diet Coke.
I probably didn't drink until the next cast party.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I wasn't friends.
Special occasion.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. I wasn't friends with like people
We didn't
that
drink.
like drink
Exactly.
casually. Like that was a thing that the popular kids did.
Yeah,
We
all
were
played
playing board
charades.
games.
Board games,
Yeah.
charades. Yeah.
And then even in college, like it was so exhausting because I went down YU, like having like you needed a fake ID to actually like go anywhere,
yeah.
and that I wasn't gonna do because duh, like I wasn't gonna break the
I had a
law.
fake ID.
I did too.
You guys are so cool. I wasn't about to break the law. So like
Sorry.
I would go to bars with my friend Eddie, and if they turned us away because they were looking at IDs, we would go and play Boggle at a coffee shop.
Okay, when was your first boy-girl party? Do you remember that?
Well, I do remember in high school we had a group of friends that had like 3 boys in it, and we would try to lie to our parents
Yeah.
so that we could have the co-ed sleepover, because there were some parents
Yes.
that didn't care and then some that did.
Wow.
And there was one time when we were planning to have a sleepover at, I think, Joey's house.
Of course.
Joey.
And we all told our parents we were sleeping at each other's houses.
God.
Oh
That's
my
right.
God.
Oh my
You
God.
were so brave.
Thank you.
Unbelievable stuff.
Really using my acting chops to be like,
Insane.
I'm going to sleep at Lindsay's.
And then your mom like probably didn't even look at you like, yeah, sounds good.
Yeah,
And you're
okay,
like, sorry, can you
Lindsay's.
look at me and focus? Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then I just remember my friend Giovanni was like, okay, and then I'll tell my mom I'm at Matt's. And we're like, you're sleeping at a boy's house.
Right. You don't have
You
to
don't
lie
lie
about
about this.
Yeah, but he didn't want to miss out on the like intrigue.
No. He was part of the girls' team.
Right.
Yeah.
My friends were gay, so
Yeah.
like I had like a good boyfriend who was
You had a boyfriend?
no
Oh.
a friend who
Yeah.
was boy
Yeah.
who was gay.
I was like, you had a boyfriend? Oh my God.
Was he out?
He was out by like
Wow.
8th grade, so like we
Beautiful.
I guess had sleepovers, and then in high school it was the cast parties.
Well, yes, the cast parties.
But then I did have a boyfriend in like junior year of high school, and my parents would let like sometimes him and like my friend Matt and then our gay friend would like who doesn't have a name.
no, just our gay friend.
The gay one.
We would all have sleepovers together because we were kind of like a group, and my parents were fine. Like
As long as you're being gay inside the house, we don't care.
we
what
were
you
all
do.
like we would all like make a bed on the floor downstairs.
Exactly.
Like one time my high school boyfriend and my friend Niall, who's the gay one, and my friend Matt and my friend Allie all had a sleepover at my house, and my dad got upset because my boyfriend and I like spent the night in my room.
Oh my god.
But we had been up all night reading the new Harry Potter book.
No.
It's hard to explain that to a dad.
And
You're
they're
like,
yeah,
he'll
right.
never believe me.
Yeah, we were just reading. I just swear.
Reading. So that's actually what had happened.
Oh my god. Oh
Wow.
my god.
What was your first boy girl?
Well, I remember the first boy girl party was at Michelle Tyson's house. She
Of
was the one
course.
with the condoms in the basement.
The
And
sex house.
The sex house. And also, she also like always wanted us to have hooch. There was that orange glass. Do you know what that drink? Hooch. Do you remember this?
No.
I guess I remember it from like movies from the 30s.
Yes, it was like I don't know.
Was
if
that like a Midwest thing?
I also feel like it was from like Europe or something. Or I don't know, but like
absinthe, hooch.
It looked like in a crush color, like an orange soda, and it was in a glass bottle, like a Coke bottle, but it was basically Smirnoff Ice, but orange soda flavored.
I don't know that.
And nobody wanted it except her. Like she kept trying to push alcohol on us, but we were like, we actually don't want to drink.
She's like, and then we'll all have hooch.
And then we were like, we don't want that. Like that's okay. You can have it if you want. And she was like, well, no. And then we had a boy girl party, and we, of course, I'm pretty sure that Maggie, Callie, Allison, Sarah, Kaj, and I performed our Bye 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 dance for everybody.
That you had learned from Darren.
Darren's dance grooves. And then we did Spin the Bottle. And that was my first kiss in 8th grade in Spin the Bottle with famously the love of my life, Charlie Martin. Who I loved for 6 years, ever since I met him. And then he came out to me. We went to college together. He came out to me and I said, you're not gay. And I forced him to call somebody else to prove it. No. But then we did also have No. We did also have boy-girl sleepovers with the theater boys. We would just, I don't know, watch movies.
Yeah.
Watch movies, choreograph dances, sing cast recordings, show each other
Oh my
videos.
God,
Yeah, truly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't go to a lot of group sleepovers. I feel like I missed the like true slumber party vibes.
Well,
Do you think we should sort of do it?
Should we do it now?
we definitely could.
We could.
And we can also, we have guest rooms now, so we can.
That's true.
What's just so
Sleep in our
funny
own
is that we
beds.
could also just take an Uber home or drive home.
We can drive in our cars.
Yeah, we could drive in our cars home.
I love adult sleepovers.
You love them now?
I love them.
You love them now, so we should be doing this then.
Yeah, well, I don't know why we don't. Like,
Yeah.
We technically have, and then we have. We have not all
Us
together.
together.
this is true.
There's like a really funny intimacy that like you don't get by just hanging out at like a restaurant or a bar.
Yes,
You're like,
100%.
okay, I see you in your pajamas.
Yeah,
That's
and
crazy.
it's like late at night, and you're like your tits are hanging like low
Yeah.
because you're
Yeah.
not wearing a bra, and you're just like,
Same
this
for
is
me.
my true self.
I'm gonna hug you goodnight, and our
And
low
we're
tits are gonna
gonna
press against each other.
our flat dangling tits are gonna sort of kiss.
And then in the morning, I'll say, "Hi, honey. How did you sleep?"
And then we'll all drink coffee together.
Yeah.
And you'll wait for the bathroom.
My dog woke you up.
She kicked the door in.
She kicked the door in. I guess the
Obsessed.
door was like cracked open, but only a tiny bit. And Bagel went and kicked the door down like the DEA.
Yeah. And then you also learn like who of your friends sleeps in.
Well, this is what I was actually just
yes.
thinking. Were you the one that woke up early at the sleepover?
yeah.
I
Oh.
knew it.
Yeah. Well, I was also the one that went to sleep early.
Sleep early, woke up early.
I was the last to sleep, the first to wake
I
up.
think that might be right, actually.
You
for
slept
me
like
as well.
3 hours.
Yes, I would always come home from a sleepover like, I gotta go to bed. I gotta take a shit. I gotta start over. I'm having a rough time.
I got another sleepover tonight.
Did not drink, but yeah. I do remember there was one specific morning though where Maggie, my friend Maggie, woke up first next to me and she tried to like wake me up and I said, you have to go back to bed because I'm not ready to talk yet. And I forced her to go back to sleep.
Boundaries.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a crazy sleepover story. I don't know how old I was, maybe 4th grade, and I got invited to this birthday party of this girl, Kathy.
Wow.
And we were never really that close. And this was definitely an example of like someone's mom being like, what about Rachel?
Oh my God.
And I just remember like feeling like I just like was always in these groups of girls where I was like, I don't belong here. And we were at the sleepover and like it was fine or whatever, but like there was a point where I was like, I actually just like gotta go to bed. Like
Yeah.
I'm done. And sleeping, I always like to say, is one of the best ways to fast forward your life.
Oh my God.
And so I was like, I'll just go to sleep. So I laid down, and then this girl Kathy, I heard like talking to everyone about how I was fake sleeping.
Stop it.
And I was not, I mean, I wasn't asleep yet.
Yeah.
But I wasn't fake sleeping. I was.
The way you get to sleep is pretending to sleep.
Yeah. And that's actually a beautiful way to think about it. And I was trying to go to sleep and I wasn't going, oh, my mouth just made a weird noise. Edit that out.
Cut it.
Or no, actually make it louder. I was not going to be like, oh yeah, I'm just faking sleeping. Because at that point I had to like prove something. And she punched me.
No, where?
Like, I can't really remember it, but it was either a punch in the face or I remember she maybe like pulled my hair. Like I was on the floor in a sleeping bag and she like pulled my hair from behind really hard and then maybe like slammed my face into the ground, like to prove that I like wasn't actually asleep.
Well, not at that point you wouldn't be.
Yeah. And then I like went to her mom and I was like, can I go home?
Right.
Kathy punched me.
I was assaulted by your daughter.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, she didn't. Stop being dramatic.
Yes. And like the vibe was like, okay, like, but maybe don't tell your mom about that. Like, it was very like.
She's like, yeah, Kathy wakes up and just sort of rips people's hair out and slams them into the ground.
It was crazy. So then
That
I did
sucks.
get picked up and I don't think we hung out again.
There was one sleepover where I brought my little suitcase and my friend had like a.
I love everything about your like arrival at these sleepovers.
Hi, I'm
I
here.
know. I love
Hello.
that.
Where can I put my suitcase with my landline phone and my bikini?
100%.
No, this one I think I packed for normal.
You are very much like a Ruth from the 40s. Yeah.
Well, I have to bring my setup.
Yeah.
I'm going live on the radio.
Your feathers satin like dressing gown.
Yeah, well, I was always coming to a sleepover like, well, we have to do stuff. Like there are it has to be an aesthetic of experience, a vibe.
Yeah, 100%.
You know? No, but there was one sleepover with this girl Amy that I was close with in, I think this was younger. This was like 5th grade. And she had a twin bed and we tried to both sleep in it and I woke up in the suitcase on the floor.
You don't remember how you got there.
I just woke up and I was like, I'm inside the suitcase.
Oh
I'm the
my
landline
God.
phone.
Oh my God.
I had a game with a friend in her basement. They had a very old treadmill. Must have been there from the 80s. And so it had a very low setting that I think contemporary treadmills don't have.
Mm-hmm.
And
Barely
A
moving.
low setting, yeah.
like it would go so slow. And we would set it on the lowest setting. We were like 15.
Oh my God.
And we would play a game called Product Line.
Okay.
And the game was
Oh my
just
God.
that you would sit on the treadmill and just slowly go like on the treadmill as if you were like a product at like a factory.
So you like sit as
You
still
would
as
just
possible.
sit on the treadmill and you would fall off the treadmill and then you would go back around and like go on it again.
That's hilarious. 15.
And so that was something I did when I was 15
Product
and we
Line.
thought it was literally the funniest thing ever.
I think similarly, my friend Maggie and I made up this game called bed diving. Also 15. There was a shitty old twin mattress in our basement, in my basement. And we would stand at the edge and we sort of made it an Olympic sport. And we would do different sort of spin and floofs and like dive into it always ended with a dive.
Yeah,
And then
bed diving.
We would write, 9 out of 10. We would give scores.
Yeah,
and
wow.
Yeah. It's sort
Bed
of innovative.
diving, product line.
And now what was
Product line.
yours, Sam?
Oh God.
Yeah, what'd you
Did
make
I
up?
have any fun games?
You must have.
I feel like I would just be like, we're rehearsing tonight. I'm making us rehearse.
Yeah.
You brought the play, the Samuel French play. Yeah.
Yeah. Or I
love
was
that.
making people move furniture around. What was I doing?
Moving
We
furniture,
did-
that's iconic.
That's a
It's
big
really
one.
it was always nice to be like, let's rearrange my bedroom furniture.
Yes.
And then my mom would be like, stop putting your bed against the wall.
Where could it be? In the middle of the room?
It would always be kind of in the middle of the room, and then I was
confused.
obsessed with the idea of having my bed against the wall because I thought that was like the cool place.
Yeah.
And like when I was little, and like my mom would make my bed, she was like, it's much harder to make when the bed is against the wall. But my dream was to have a bed against the wall.
Do you mean in the corner?
In the corner.
Oh,
I
okay.
see. Yes.
I
but up
thought you
against
meant
the wall.
like-
Floating in the middle.
Yes.
I was like, Rachel, what?
Your mom, we need to have her on the pod
Yeah.
because what is she talking
No,
about?
I just like I wanted to have it in the corner because I thought that was I
I'm
wanted
s-
more floor space.
I'm siding with
Yeah.
your mom on that, though. Yeah.
Yeah, she's right.
Yeah.
I just wanted my bed in the corner. Like I thought it was cozy.
Yeah,
Yeah, of
because
course.
it was like probably every TV show, every girl's bed was like against the wall.
Yes. And my
In a cool
bedroom was
way.
set up like an adult bedroom.
And you
with
hated
like
that.
the bed in the middle of the room. And I was like, that's not for kids.
Oh yeah, were you doing sleepovers in your bedroom or like in the living room or the basement?
with like my bestest friends, we would just like we would go to sleep in my bedroom.
Yeah.
With like other friends, and then by high school we would like go down to the like family room,
take over,
sleep on the couch.
Yeah. We had a finished basement. If we had a big group, we would go in the basement. But if it was like 2 or 3 friends, the 3 of us would sleep in my bed, or even maybe make Allison sleep on the floor. Sorry, Allison. She knows it though.
Wow. She knows it though. She knows what she did.
Yeah.
The sleeping bags.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
on the floor.
yeah.
But it was always very cold in our basement. And like,
I bet.
it's gross now. It's important to note too that I had 2 older brothers, but only one is 10 years older, but the other one was 2 years. So like we really had to like, I'm taking the basement tonight.
Competition.
And I would never win, obviously. If he's
Right.
like, you're not coming down here, don't be stupid.
Would you guys have sleepovers at the same time?
I don't think so. If we did, it would just be like probably one, or I would just be like, no, Brian's having his friends over. We have to go to your place. Like,
Did you ever have crushes on your brother's friends?
oh my God, all of them. Oh my God.
Wow.
Every single one at some point.
Okay, wait. If we were gonna have a sleepover now, let's plan it.
Okay.
What are we
Yeah.
doing? What are we up
Whose
to?
house?
Ooh, that's the question. I feel like my
Right.
instinct says Rachel's house.
Rachel's house. I was going to say Rachel's house too.
that means
Is that crazy?
so much to me. It's
have
my
this
dream
huge
to have
space.
the chill house.
Yeah. I also feel like David, your husband, Rachel's
Brian.
husband, would sort of just like be the dad, would come down. Do you girls need anything? Or-
Absolutely.
Yeah, because he's always like doing work upstairs, which
Always
is like
doing
very dad-like, and
Yeah.
then. And also just having it upstairs because, because like now we're in these like weird
Yes.
90s townhouses.
Yeah.
And having it upstairs is so dad.
It seems insane to say like, oh, I'm going to go upstairs.
Well, yeah, especially, coming from New York where no one has upstairs.
You just have one big room.
One big room. And then in LA where like still no one really has upstairs because of
Right.
like the
Apartments.
style of house
Yeah.
here. And then having upstairs is like so chic.
I think that's what it is. For a sleepover, you're like, well, upstairs, downstairs. Like,
Exactly.
Upstairs, downstairs.
There's a separate area. So like you go to sleep and then you can go downstairs and get a snack.
Yes. I love the idea of a sleepover now because I love the idea of like being able to stay late and get tired and not having a
Have to drive.
home.
Yeah.
and then drinking a bottle of wine.
And being able to like drink a bottle of wine.
yeah.
Have
I've-
a gummy.
I feel
Have
like
a
in the
gummy, there you go,
last have a
Sam.
little gummy, go to sleep. I feel like in the last also it's so fun to like wake up and be like, we're making coffee. Like
Yeah, I love that.
we're ordering home state, whatever.
Cute.
But I do feel like I've been having more adult sleepovers in the last few years than ever before.
Haven't had a single one.
Really? Have you gone on
Besides
but you've
us, well,
gone on
we'll-
vacation with people?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, I guess when we travel, we'll do it.
Yeah, I mean, so Becky and I, we have traveled a lot together over the years.
Yeah.
And we would sleep in
Through
the
the
same
decades.
bed
Yeah.
because
Even when
we were like on tour.
one time we did one time last year, 2 years ago, we were doing a directing gig and they were flying us and paying for our hotel. And we said, oh, we'll just take one hotel. And they were like, are you sure you can have 2? We're like, we'll just have one.
I don't know if you ever got this feeling, maybe not as a kid, but as an adult, like I've had little trips with like a couple friends, and we have our own rooms and whatever. But then after you get home, it's like, oh, well, I missed
Yeah.
them.
yeah.
Well,
Wonder
it's
what they're doing
why
this morning.
Yeah.
I genuinely want to live in a commune with all my friends, which I know is
Yes.
a way that a lot of people of our generation feel because it's so horrible to be alive and
Yes.
real estate is so awful.
Yes.
But like I do feel like we're all also feeling this thing of like, I don't know, community and also wanting to like the it takes a village thing. We
100%.
want that to be real. And I really do feel like a commune where we could have nightly slumbies, which is
100%.
only something I started calling slumber parties.
Slumbies?
I started calling them that
Nightly slumbies.
as an adult.
I like that.
I like it.
Slumbies.
Well,
Perfect.
I do
Love
think
that.
that we could like really test this out and just kind of like how you used to be like, hey, what are you doing on Saturday? Do you want to sleep over?
Yeah. Do you want to have a sleepover?
Yeah. And then we all just come over and we get our own bed.
Cool.
What a dream.
I love that.
I wonder if we did have a sleepover because I think a big part of them for me was like staying up late, right?
Yeah.
It was like,
Yeah,
we could stay
100%.
up past midnight and we will take pictures and quietly sing and do all this stuff and go to bed at like 4. Oh my God.
Oh my God. But
But that would destroy us now.
We would die.
That's what I'm thinking.
Well,
That's like,
we
and then
have
also
to do it-
sleeping on a couch, I'd be like, well, I don't think I'd sleep at all.
Right.
Yeah.
Hard to know.
I have one pull-out guest bed. So you
Wow.
guys can share.
You could share that.
You can share the guest bed because I'm assuming no
Yeah.
boys are invited to this.
no boys.
No.
I think that would be really fun. And
Love
then we could do what we do anyway, which is like watch Mandy Moore music videos.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like make a dinner.
Yep.
Darren's Dance Grooves.
Yeah.
I almost bought it, but it was too late by the time I thought of it. And it's only on DVD now, but it's pretty
definitely
cheap.
try to get a copy.
I'll get one.
It
I'll just do it
certainly
today.
has to be on YouTube.
Oh, but having the DVD would be
It's
fun.
more fun.
I've been getting really into physical media. Okay, you know what I want really, really bad, and I feel like this is relevant to the sleepover culture, is I want one of those little TV VCR combos.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
we've been talking about that too.
Yeah, I want one for like, I want to put it like next to my bed for like going to sleep, and because I feel like sometimes people had one of those in their basement, and I was always like, oh,
I want to fall
those are so
asleep
cool.
to the repetitive DVD menu sound effects.
Oh my God.
Or like a VHS ending.
Yeah.
And the blue screen coming up.
Yeah.
I had, not to sort of brag, but I did have one of those TVs in my room.
Oh,
I wanted this PB Teen. I think it was PB Teen, but I think it was too expensive. It was a blue and white gingham bedspread, big checks,
wow.
and it was like this blue kind of. It was so pretty, but I
beautiful.
couldn't get that, so we went to JCPenney instead, and I
Bed in a bag.
Bed in a bag. Went the opposite direction, and I got this pink and yellow floral. It's pretty, but then the wall was painted bright yellow, and then I had one accent wall of wallpaper, yellow and white stripes, with on the top this floral border that matched the bed in a bag.
oh my God, those borders.
Yes.
Were your bedrooms in high school more like adult,
Oh
or
my
was it
God.
always just like pink?
My bedroom in high school was unhinged.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to be an interior designer. I was on the
Okay, yeah.
PB Teen message
100%.
boards, like giving people advice. It was hot pink, 3 walls, and then a splatter wall with rainbow colors.
That's
And then
unbelievable.
My bathroom was like this color, bright green, which is
Ensuite?
ensuite.
Oh my God, we
Okay,
had to
wow.
go into your house.
I would have been over your house
So
every weekend.
I had
yeah.
a window seat, and
Oh my God.
there was like
Are you
a.
Sabrina?
I felt like it.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Clarissa,
Sabrina.
Sabrina.
Yeah.
There was a window seat with like a pad, like a cushion, and my mom was like, "You can pick out the fabric to get it upholstered," and I
Unbelievable.
chose hot pink, bright green, purple leopard fleece fabric.
Oh, did you like always have a headache?
I don't remember. No, I
Yeah.
think I was always like, I've done an incredible job here, and
Wow.
Trading Spaces would be lucky to have me.
Trading spaces.
I mean, it does sound like a bedroom, like a kid's bedroom in a Nickelodeon show.
Yes.
Like it
Yeah.
sounds like
I was a
what-
set designer.
It sounds like the set of a kid's bedroom.
And I actually just found a photo. I'll try and show it to you guys. So the curtains were white, but then the bottom, you know how like curtains, there's like just like the seam at the bottom.
Yeah.
And they were sheer, and I was putting cutouts from magazines in the bottom
Okay.
of
You're cool.
thing.
You're cool.
You're cool.
the. I was an artist. Well, I was thinking, would it be crazy if we prank called David, your husband?
Oh my God,
should
let's
we?
literally do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
From my phone.
Wait. Oh shoot.
Well,
caller
we
ID.
could be like, somebody took your phone. Like
He has all of.
We
our
can pretend to be a
numbers.
guy who took your phone.
What if it was David Moore? You think that- Oh my God.
We're calling from the hardware store.
We found this phone in a basket of nails.
We're calling from.
Oh no! That basket of nails is my wife.
No, I don't think so.
I don't
No.
think we're actually carpenters calling from the hardware store.
And your carpentry is ready for pickup.
That carpentry is my wife.
No.
Oh,
Oh,
my
wow.
God.
That was
Well,
really good. Do you
That
think-
was really fun. We should prank call people
More often. We should call people who
You
have
just
our
can't
numbers
do it
saved more
anymore, I
often.
guess.
The anonymity is gone. It's
Even if you
lost.
don't have
Yeah.
someone's number, it would be like maybe Sam Reece.
Yeah. Right.
David's calling me now. He's probably like, "Oh my God, is
she in?
Hi, this is the tool store. We are only carpenters here.
I feel like I'm getting pranked.
No.
No.
Hey.
Carpenter's law, you can't prank.
no pranking."
My
We're-
name is David from the tool store.
My name's David S. from the tool store.
and my name is David Y from the tool store.
Am I being recorded on a podcast?
Oh my God.
hang up,
Shut
hang
up.
Hang up.
All right. Well, this was so fun. Let's plan a sleepover.
Okay.
And I guess right now we're going to do such like the next day sleepover thing, and we're going to get brunch.
Yeah, that's really fun.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Wow. That was so fucking good.
That was good.
That was so good. Oh, that was amazing. We're going to be in a band. We're a band now. Tell everyone where they can find you.
All platforms at Becky Chicoine.
I I am trying to get rid of all my social
You
media.
can't find Rachel.
You can find me on Instagram, I guess.
Well, you have any projects coming up you want to talk about?
Nope.
Hell yeah. Nope.
Nope. All right. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.